Paul Roma should sing like, "Here Comes the Axe." He should sing WWF tag team themes. You know, my friend runs a gay karaoke thing.
Go on, man.
You got this,
I would
right?
love to go.
I took her out.
Yeah, you jerk. So now you're talking shit about two people.
How was it coming out in something like wrestling, where it's definitely an alpha male industry?
I personally think wrestling is super gay, so I actually said that recently.
That's behind the scenes.
No, I mean, it's funny you say it because Danny, he jokes, because he's been out his whole life. He jokes like whenever anyone is like homophobic to him at a wrestling show, sometimes he'll snap back, sometimes he'll just think it, but something along the lines of like, it's like, dude, you're the one paying to see a bunch of dudes with no clothes on rolling around together getting sweaty. Like, I'm getting paid to be here. Like, who's the gay one here? Like, really? But that's listen, I'm not throwing shade. And not that is shade. Obviously there's nothing wrong with being gay. There's nothing wrong with me. As far as that goes.
Yeah, no, all right.
As far as that goes. Okay, so coming out,
Yeah, we can go there.
so it was this whole like thing. How was it? I'll answer real quick and then I'll delve into it. And so it was like transformative for sure, definitely. And look, I'll lay it all out there right now because yeah, my parents will watch this. So for any questions like that anyone does have, I have known that I liked guys since I was like in 6th grade, I think, is probably like the farthest back I go with that. And I just remember so many like tentpole moments in my life, like all my relationships with girls ended like so quickly. And they would all be like I mean, guys, look at me. Like, they were smoking hot chicks, you know what I mean? And like, they were the popular girls, and I would just like love them and leave them, and sometimes not love them and leave them, you know what I mean? And I remember one of my friends, Casey, I remember I joked once like, oh, your sister and her boyfriend have been together for like a month. That's a long time. And she's like, no, it's not, you sociopath. And everyone thought that I was just like some kind of like egomaniacal, like and I don't know if I even knew, you know what I mean? I really didn't. I feel like maybe I thought I was bi for a really long time. Working in West Hollywood and living in Alamitos Beach, which is colloquially known as the Gayborhood. That's what the people that live there call it.
Did not know that.
It just opened my eyes to a lot. It's where the Gay Pride Parade is in Long Beach. It just, I felt more comfortable. And I started, not really to come out, because I really didn't even accept it myself at that point, honestly, because it's a lot of fear, you know, like anyone that's ever had to like go through that. And we all have to deal with family. We all have to deal with the people we grew up with that looked at you one way, and you hope that they still look at you the same way, but I'm not naive, they don't, you know what I mean? Like, and that's no slight against them, you can, you know what I mean? Like, and you evolve. Because people ask me all the time, like, or they say rather, like, oh, you're so brave to come out, you know, in wrestling and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, for sure, but I feel like a postal worker that comes out is brave. Like, someone that works at the bank that comes out as brave. Someone that is a waitress or a waiter or whatever. Like, no matter what the fuck you do, you're brave because, you know, like, what do I have to deal with? Like, I don't know.
Bunch of sweaty guys rolling around in their underwear.
And they're the ones that accept it. And Ellen was the first, like, major gay celebrity. And I remember she came out on the show. And there was this episode, and I wasn't a fan of Ellen really. I think my parents watched it, and I was watching it. I was a kid, and it was on in the back. She had come out on the show, and she had this one friend on the show that was another woman. And they were doing something that they had done for years. Like they were doing their laundry together, and Ellen like took her shirt off to change it or whatever, and the friend got all weird all of a sudden. And Ellen's like, what's going on? And like we always take our shirts off like and do this like when we do our laundry. And it was this. And it's so weird that I remember that, but I'll always remember it because the woman's response on the show was basically like, well, you're a lesbian now. Like, it's different now. And that, you know, I feel like I do have friends that sometimes they overcompensate. Like, they're too supportive. I made the decision that I was, like, I said to myself, like, that I am gay, like officially out loud to myself in January of this year. It took me that long to say it out loud. I mean, I knew it for the past since probably 2014 or so, but I admitted it and then subsequently admitted it immediately to a friend in January. And it was because I rode to a show 6 hours away, with someone who's out and gay in wrestling. And, in wrestling, a lot of the gay talent in wrestling, it is very gimmicky, and they'll admit that to you. There's a certain level of flamboyance to it. Look at some of the trendsetters that, I admire, Rick Cataldo, the boy diva, Jamie Senegal, Sonny Kiss. These are all, amazing dudes who, that's part of who they are. This one guy that I drove with, though, he's out and he's proud, and I hate the word mask. It's such a fucking derogatory term in the community. But I looked at him and I was like, okay, cool. You can be out and proud in wrestling and not have to start painting your fucking face like Harley Quinn. And no offense to Jamie, you make it work. I would not. So it was just this transformative moment where I was like, all right, bet. He's example. I'm with it. I can admit this. And I came out to someone, and a lot of people know the story because I've told it in a lot of different forums, and it's a sad story, but it is what it is. The first person I came out to was my best friend in the entire business, my mentor in this business. I figured if I come out to him and it's all smooth sailing, then at least he's got my back. Where it's like, hey, don't fuck with Mark. You know what I mean? I don't care if he sucks dick. You suck dick.
Was that your impression of him?
Yeah.
Okay.
He never said that because he wasn't that supportive. He was not supportive. He had a really negative reaction. And I kind of went scurrying back into the closet for 2 months. And then I was backstage at a show you guys were at, actually. We did a pre-show before Pro Wrestling Magic. I just got to talking to Eddie McQueen, and just being around him, I just kind of felt rejuvenated for whatever reason, and not even about anything, you know what I mean? Just oh, it's good to see you, blah, 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 great job today, yeah, enjoy the show, yeah, I love your beard, whatever, it's glittery. I couldn't do that with my mustache, but I'd love to try. I had this weird moment where
I'm gonna ask Eddie to glitter your beard, your mustache now.
I will, I totally will, I'll say that right now, I will. I was having a beer and a cigarette outside with Dirtbag Dan, and I just said it. I just said, yo, I'm gay, or hey dude, I'm gay, or whatever it was. And Dirtbag Dan didn't bat an eye. He just drank his beer. Oh yeah, really? You got a light? I need a light for my cigarette. You know what I mean? That was his response, was basically I think he might have said something oh, my girlfriend thought you might be, but I said, no, not Haggerty, but no, that's good for you. No, Dirtbag Dan was the first person in wrestling that I came out to that had a positive reaction. And as you guys well know, and I want to say for the record, not just because it's your show, you guys were there for me through the whole thing.
I actually called it.
Yeah, you did, and I think I said no at first. I think I denied it, but that was only because of it's traumatic when someone that helped break you into wrestling no longer wants anything to do with you based on just something like that. But I was in the process of coming out to everyone. I remember being at Mohegan Sun. We were all there. Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. It was an amazing show. I was floating on cloud 9 at this point, because I had told so many different people. You guys all knew. Paul Roma knew. Mario Mancini. I told Mario Mancini. He just looks at me and goes, come here, kid. Just gives me this big hug. And now he just I feel every time he sees me and looks at me now, he thinks he's this kid. And I love Mario. He's amazing. Everyone there is amazing. But we're there and we're hanging out and we're having drinks and everything. And I'm just being very open. You were, spoiler, you were doing karaoke with some young women, younger than the Metal Maniac. Brother Daddy, those chicks were doing some karaoke in a phone booth, Daddy.
No, we didn't even get to do the karaoke
We
yet.
were at the point, though, at this point, where we could joke oh, Mark doesn't want to hang out because he's too gay. You know what I mean? And I'm at this point where I'm yes, my friends are finding out and I feel comfortable and I'm happy and I'm slowly telling people. I'm gonna tell my parents at this point. I'm gonna tell my sister, everyone, etc. But then someone told everyone for me.
What?
And what? You tell people that you're gay, and some people that say, good, I'm happy for you, great job, to your face, then go to other people and say things like, hey man, you know, Mark was lying, literal verbatim, word for word, quoted words. You know, Mark was lying about being gay for like 31 years. Who knows what else he's lying about? And a promoter decided to shit can me because of that. And that was the rationale originally. He said to me, he said, look, I don't have a problem with you being gay. Some of my best friends are gay. I should have said, name them. Name every one of them. Name every one of them right now. He could have started with, well, you. But he says, it's not because, he says this to me, he says, it's not because you're gay, it's just because you were lying to me, and I feel like we were friends, and like, what else are you hiding? And I was just very, like, what the fuck? So then I went to several people on his roster, he's a promoter, and I went to several people on his roster and basically screenshot the whole conversation. His women's champion at the time immediately said to him, I don't want to be a part of your company anymore, and dropped her title like 3 days later. This guy, he got word that I was burying him to people, but I was really just saying like, hey, just so you know, this is the kind of guy he is. Not saying you can't work for him, not saying don't work for him. I'm saying make your own decisions based on your own personal politics and ethics and what you got going on in here and up there. That's what I said. And then it was you that pointed it out to me what he said, I think, or one of you guys. It was someone on GoPro, I do believe.
You're gonna throw us under the bus?
No, because he posted.
I don't give a shit. It was me. I messaged you. I said,
because I blocked him. I blocked him on
I
Facebook.
was
and then
aggravated
he
at it.
posted something on Facebook that said, like, just so everyone knows, I didn't fire Mark Haggerty because he recently came out as gay, XYZ, the rest of his sentence, whatever, and then just bullshit about stuff that just didn't make sense. I was not out to everyone.
That's why I sent it to you. 'Cause I was like, did he just fuck? I sent it to you too. I was like, did he just fucking say this about Mark?
And
I was like, Mark, I don't know if what happened. But
And I immediately, like 30 seconds later, and this is the day after Mohegan Sun, I remember April 22nd. And I remember like being in hysterics, obviously, by myself. Like, and I remember I had put like a DiGiorno pizza or something in the oven. I had packed a bowl. I was ready to do a lot of stuff, and I was just caught in this moment. And it was a lot like when my ex of 5 years dumped me, where like I don't know what I was doing in the moment, but I remember doing something like, I don't know, I was watching Monk on Netflix. That's how long ago it was, and it was paused for like 5 hours because I was in this daze. It was the same kind of thing. I burnt my DiGiorno pizza. I ended up cashing out a perfectly good green bowl, thinking, because it had been so many hours, like, I hadn't even smoked it yet, and it was this like how fucking dare he do that? So I went on my Facebook, as you guys saw, and I did what I did, and I said what I said, and I met it head on. And I want to say that was the most likes I've ever gotten on anything in social media, something like 600 likes on Facebook or whatever. A lot of people came out of the woodwork in wrestling that supported me. A lot of gay people, obviously, like Rick Cataldo messaged me immediately. Sunny Kiss, all these people messaged me immediately, but not just gay people. Chelsea Green, formerly of Impact Wrestling at this point, she reached out to me. It just meant so much to have such crazy support. I don't want to say who, but some really prominent, let's say super indie promoters who I've reached out to before, who have no-sold me, reached out to me, so I know it's working. But they reached out to me after seeing it, saying like, dude, I'm so sorry, and they ask like, who did this to you, so I can make sure not to like work with them. And I get to say to them, don't worry, there's no chance of you ever working with them, unless you wanna order like 6 T-shirts in a year.
You'll get them in a year.
Yeah, if you wanna, whatever.
No, you won't get them in a year.
But it was like I was circling in a plane for a while, and he pushed me, like in a sitcom.
It's almost like he rammed you off.
Yeah, he did. He rammed me right out there. It was iconic, but I fell and...
Was that a prime time in your life?
And and yeah.
We'll bleep, don't worry.
I went to the bar and I had a brandy and
Hey, so did I!
So did everyone.
I had a brandy at the bar. Coming out has been extraordinary. Everyone has been very supportive, minus 2 or 3 people who don't fucking matter to anyone, me or anyone regardless, so fuck them. The people that matter, and they're very supportive. This was someone who would make t-shirts, 8x10s for people, promise big things, never get them done.
Right.
Overpromise, underdeliver.
We know that firsthand.
So his screwing something up is not exclusive to his dealings with me delivering something. Let's just get that out of the way right now.
Fact.
I waited 6 months for
He
something.
has made a lot of
waiting.
excuses for everything. I know someone who ordered a banner for a, this is better.
Aside from me.
He ordered a banner for a special going on at a car dealership where he worked. He did not get it in time for the promotion. And I just worked a show with this guy. Not only did the promotion end, he doesn't work at that car dealership anymore, but he wants his fucking banner because he paid for it. He paid for it. Yep. I did deliveries for this guy because, like I said, I'm you work in wrestling, you do odd jobs and stuff like that all the time, just like I did in California. And I never, ever had an issue. I had been doing it with him for the better part of like a year and a half. I'd wake up at like 4 or 5 in the morning when I have to get somewhere. I would, if he'd hit me up at like 6, 7 o'clock at night when I'm ready to just have dinner and rest, he'd be like, hey, I need some, I would always go. No one had ever had a problem when I was the one delivering the stuff. And then suddenly, we've got an issue where he is a bigot and I call him out for his bigotry, and suddenly that's when I start screwing things up. So I'm saying it's all very coincidental. He's lying. I could have just said, no, he's wrong, he's lying. That's not true. 100% of that story is fabricated, and it keeps changing every time he tells the story from what I gather too. But the truth of the matter is, I'd rather defend it using concrete evidence. I say what I mean and I mean what I say, and I feel like my friends, my fans, my family, they can trust what I say. Some people not so much, and that's just where I'll leave that.
Is it something that, I mean,
No.
it's probably hard to predict 5 years from now, you can probably be like, hey,
No.
we're cool, man.
No, because,
Or is it just, I'm done with you?
you know, and there's other people. Say the first guy who had the negative reaction that I came out to, the 2 different people. He and I could bury the hatchet one day because he was being what I like to call bromophobic. And that's basically just like a frat boy that's like, ew, gay sex, ugh, gross. But it's not based in any kind of like hatred. It's not like some like God hates fags sort of stuff. You know what I mean? It's more like, I like pussy. You know, and you said I could curse, so I'm gonna fucking take it. I'm gonna take the dog out for a walk on that. But as far as that individual goes, I don't see there ever being any kind of water under the bridge because he took away a really important moment in my life. I had planned how I wanted to come out.
What was the plan?
Honestly,
the Mark Adam Haggerty reveal party.
Okay, I'll tell you for sure. I was going to come out at a matter of pride in Providence, Rhode Island. It was maybe like a month and a half, 2 months after I actually came out. I'm glad that I did. I wouldn't have had that opportunity, quite frankly, so everything happens for a reason. You know, I had more planned, and but things don't always go according to plan. The way I said it to him, though, because I was like, dude, I get like as a heterosexual guy, you probably can't comprehend the concept of like taking this huge life moment away from me. But it's like, say you were about to ask Brandy, I mean your girlfriend, to marry you, and you were like, you know, I love you and I just want to be with you for the rest of my life, and I was just wondering if you, and then I snaked in like, yo bitch, he wants to marry you, sticky, icky, icky. You know what I mean? Like I would, like fuck your moment, and I would do that dance too, like. So like it's a big thing to take away from someone.
Absolutely.
And dare I say it's bigger than asking someone to marry you, because you can do that again.
You said your father or your mother go to church all the time. Obviously, being in the religion, how do they take that that whole situation with you? Are they
My mom,
accepting, or how?
My mom, before she even knew,
She knew.
we were talking about AIDS, and like totally not having to do with like the LGBTQ community. And she, apropos of nothing, said something to me like, look, I don't care if you're gay, just you know, AIDS is out there. And I'm just like, all right. So, like, that's kind of like where she's coming from, where it's like, do what you want, just be safe. My dad, kind of bromophobic. My dad loves me, and my dad supports me, but I feel like it's kind of like a don't ask, don't tell sort of thing. No, the real test will be like the holidays and stuff like that. But we'll see. They are very supportive, and my sister just loves it. My sister used to say, before I came out, when I had girlfriends and stuff, she used to like joke around, and she used to joke around like, oh, why can't you just be gay? I want a gay brother so bad. And when I came, I've never said this anywhere. When they've drawn the dots by now. It doesn't matter. When he outed me and I had to go on Facebook and do my own thing, my sister didn't know yet.
Everyone knew. Anyone who knew you knew.
Yeah, thanks, by the way. But she, the way I between posting it on Facebook, is I wanted to tell her first. So I didn't tell my parents for like weeks, because they're not in social media, so what the fuck. And I remember texting her and I was like, hey, I got you a late birthday present. You know how you always wanted a gay brother? Surprise, just don't tell mom and dad yet. And that was what I told her. That's how I came out to my sister.
The exact words.
Yeah, that was like literally it. My parents are cool with that, honestly. I think they're more concerned with me working in wrestling than me being gay.
And most of the wrestling communities, that was totally accepting. You had
dude,
few people.
It's crazy. Like I'll go to and I'll mention people by name in this regard. Bo Douglas, I don't know if you guys know him. I believe he runs the Bell Time Club, which is a school in Boston. And he's worked some Paradise Alley shows before. He works UFO. I saw him at a show one afternoon in Boston, and he just like, he looked like he was gonna cry, and he just like, come here, man. And he just like, he held me for like a minute and just like, almost like sobbing, like, I'm so happy for you, man. And that's like, you know, like a 40-something-year-old, like heterosexual, like just, it's crazy how supportive people are. One thing that I've been told by countless people is I seem a lot happier now than I did before, which I am. I'll tell you right now, I totally am. I thought I put on a pretty good face before like bullshitting everyone, but fuck it, like I guess not. Fox Vinier told me that he was happy I was gay because I'm a handsome man and it's no competition. And I will never forget that. But it's really amazing. A certain announcer one night who I am friends with, and I love him, and I love his success, and I want him to have success totally. But he put something up on Twitter one night like, just booked 3 more dates for the summer or whatever. And this was at like 11:30 at night, and I'm falling asleep because I'm an early bird. I'm falling asleep, and he puts that up, and it's like, I wake up, and I get on my phone, it's like, copy and paste, and I start sending stuff to like, I would say like 10 different promoters, and by the time I woke up the next morning, I had like 4 or 5 bookings. I look at a lot of guys and girls in WWE, and I don't think there's anyone like me. And I know that's easy to say when it's me. You know what I mean? I know it's easy to be in your own head and be like, I get, you know what I mean? But like, I look at like a lot of the announcers, they're like these Ken dolls, and that's not a bad thing, but they're like these cookie cutter, like tan, blonde, frosted tips, whatever, like light brown, and all the girl, like they're all very uniform. First, there's no one with a mustache. I don't know. I feel like I've got a different look, and I also, and I hate saying this because I feel like I'm kind of, I never like sounding like I'm putting myself over, but I do feel like I bring a bit more, not more, but something else to the table. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not just an announcer. You know, if someone tells me like now, if someone tells me like, Mark, we want you to be an MC, we want you to be the host, we want you to be a game show host, I know what the fuck that means. Like I can be a heel announcer. I can be like a chicken shit Andy Kaufman style wrestler. I can do a lot of things beyond wrestling. If we were living in a different era and managers were still a thing that people got hired to do, that's probably where I would, honest to God, and that's 100% true. If managers were as popular now, and if people were getting signed to be managers, I probably wouldn't even be a ring announcer.
You know, my friend runs a gay karaoke thing.
We'll go one night.
You got this, right? I took her out, it was a Friday night. I wore cologne to get the feeling right. We started making out and she took off my pants, but then I turned on the TV. And that's about the time she walked away from me. Nobody likes you when you're 23 or 31 and Sarah still makes TV shows. What the hell is ADD? My friends say I should act my age. What's my age again? What's my age again? Then later on the drive home, I called her mom from a payphone and I said I was the cops and your husband's in jail. The state looks down on sodomy. And that's about the time that bitch hung up on me. Nobody likes you when you're 23 and are still more amused by prank phone calls. What the hell is call ID? My friends say I should act my age. What's my age again? What's my age again?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Adam Haggerty. Follow him on all social
I thought
media.
we were-
Mark A. Haggerty.